This is Savannah Hernandez in New York City, and okay, my friends, I was just driving down the street, I was Ubering, and I saw this huge market of African migrants selling all of these bags along this sidewalk. The sidewalk was actually completely full of people, so I was like, okay, pull over, let me see what's going on. Now, I'm walking along this street, and the entire sidewalk was completely packed with people buying these Louis Vuitton bags, buying these YSL bags. Obviously, all of them are knockoffs. Now, I spoke to some of the migrants. They were telling me they're all from Senegal. And as I'm walking around, they all start grabbing their bags very quickly. Again, this entire block was filled with all of these bags. And they picked them all up very quickly. Within 2 minutes, they all started jumping in vehicles, running away. I was speaking to one of the migrants, and he ended up telling me that they don't have the license to sell these purses. It's illegal, and if the cops catch them, they will come and take away all of their products. Another thing that I noticed too, because I was filming, is these migrants, very similar to Paris, telling me that I can't film here.
Hey, you do the film here.
And that I wasn't allowed to be, using my camera. So they're being a little bit of aggressive toward me. And it just looked just like Paris. I was just in Paris, a month ago, and it looks the exact same here on the streets of New York as it did over there. Again, I've just never seen this. Maybe this is a common thing, but again, the entire sidewalk was completely filled with these knockoff fake purses. And then as soon as they thought the cops were going to come, they all just took off running. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
Gone. Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, we already saw there was an ICE action on Canal Street. They said they were targeting undocumented immigrants who were, selling counterfeit bags, which on Canal Street is kind of, there's a long history of that, obviously. What do you do?
Yeah, I think this is an example of what is unacceptable in this country. I think the first thing that you do is you close the door that Eric Adams opened to the NYPD doing civil immigration enforcement. He said that on national television. The second thing you do...
So you would not allow the New York Police Department to engage or to cooperate with ICE or DHS?
Not in civil immigration enforcement. We have sanctuary city laws where we've made very, very clear that for a set of serious crimes, there is coordination with the federal administration. But anything beyond that, I think 172 crimes that are listed, that is something for the NYPD to focus on purely right here in New York City.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Oh, you bold.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zorhan Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zorhan Mandami?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look,
F around and find out.
We don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government.
You're going to vie for the highest office in New York City, and you're going to invoke the memory of 9/11. You'd better be talking about the memory of the people whose lives were lost that day in the building, and the first responders and their families, the people who are actually the true victims who were affected of 9/11. It's not about your relatives and whether or not they felt safe wearing a hijab on the subway. It's about the people who died from the terrorist attacks.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt.
Such an Oscar-worthy performance.
Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Lies, bro.
New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani is seen campaigning with an imam who allegedly has ties to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. In a recent post to X, Mamdani can be seen smiling and standing next to Suraj Wahaj at the imam's Bedford-Stuyvesant mosque. Wahaj was linked to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and has defended the attackers, calling U.S. agencies the real terrorists. Mamdani said it was a pleasure to meet Wahaj and called him one of the nation's foremost Muslim leaders and a pillar to the Bed-Stuy community.
New York City is no longer an American city. If you look at the population of New York, between 36 and 38% of that city is foreign born. That's who he's appealing to, who he's pandering to here. And if you look at exit polling data from last night, you'll find that 85% of those who have been in the city for 5 years or less voted for Zohran Mamdani. That's who he's going after. And that's something we need to be realistic about. That we've had a mass influx of foreigners into the country, and they congregate in places like New York City. And they're changing the political system, and we're seeing that right here. As you mentioned earlier, whenever you import the third world, you get third world policies, and you turn into the third world.
1,000%. And I would like to add that I believe that, and I pray to God, Lord in heaven, Jesus, I ask you, Father, I ask you to cover this land, and that Mamdani is not the Trojan horse that I believe he could potentially be. People want to know, why do you think he's a Trojan horse? Have you seen this right here, guys? I mean, this is absolutely insane what I came across. We need to hold this brother accountable. I wish a lot of people did their due diligence.
There's still, this illusion, and it's partially a result of settler colonialism, that all of us can become New Yorkers, that all of us can settle into the city. And yet there would be these moments where I would be reminded by someone whose intent was to tell me that you do not belong. And one of those first moments was on 9/11, when, before I knew what had happened, my teacher had pulled me and a Muslim classmate of mine out of the class and told us that something has happened and you may be bullied. And I want you to tell me if that happens. And frankly, I was lucky, because most Muslim students in the city were not given that kind of care from their teachers. And yet in that moment, I realized that I was not simply another classmate in a middle school. I was distinct, and there was a marker of that distinction on me. And it was something that I would be reminded of again and again. It was something when we came back from a trip abroad, being pulled aside at JFK by immigration agents in a double mirrored room, sitting me down on my own while my family was outside, and asking me if I had just attended a terrorist training camp, and if I had intentions of attacking this country, and if so, what were those plans? And it's something that has continued in the time since, where a few months ago, I went with a client of mine to a bankruptcy court, and as we're going into the court, the security guard takes me aside and pats me down with additional care, and asks me multiple times if I have any weapons of mass destruction on me. And in these moments, the sense of not knowing where home is, they're amplified.
I don't believe nothing you're saying, bro. I'm sorry. I don't believe a damn thing you're saying. You see how when he was trying to sell to the people that he had some type of story that will prick your heart. I'm going to tell you about my aunt who around 9/11, after 9/11, she could no longer ride on the subways because she had her job. And she was probably bullied and discriminated against and yelled at and given nasty looks. Bruh. These guys are nuts, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, gang. And if you want to check out some of my merch, it's inside of the link below. Love y'all. See you next time. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.